and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely, fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you, who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who were liberated and also show the path of liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who were devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protector's heart, to tip of this fresh, pure white heap, curved like cloud, O Lobsang Drakpa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples, in space ahead on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit, field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns for fortunate ears, your beauteous body, fame, glory, outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offering set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted 3 vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned mundane concerns, made life essential. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Tsongkhpa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Bigmet Sewe Te Te Chen Rezik 3 Me Kempe Wong Ko Jam Pel Yang Du Pung Ma Lu Jom Se San Wei Tag Gang Chen Ke Pe Su Gen Tsongkhapa Lop San Tra Pe Jab La So Wa Deb. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain steadfast. Homage to the exalted 3 jewels. Thus have I heard at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomenon called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the 5 aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom shall look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence, 5 aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form is not other than form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty, without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional fact, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element, and so forth, up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance, and so forth, up to no aging and death, and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata gate gate pera som gate bodhi soha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places, Dakinis, Tayata on gate pera som gate bodhi soha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four Maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, shante kurie soha. 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Saji Peki Jukshi Meta Tramri Rablingji Nide Gempadi Sange Jingdu Meteoa Kidrokunamda Jingla Choparsho Jesu Lama Dampa Genam Kichun Kukala and Setrendrine Jitar Sampe Dulce Sinma Laza Gechuki Charpawa to so Namandala Kam Eryatayami. Chongda Songi Chomnala Jatu Pardu Dagdi Gepsuchi Dagi Chonyen Gepe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupasho. Chongda Songi Chomnala Jatu Pardu Gepdi Gepsuchi Dagi Chonyen Gepe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupasho. Chongda Songi Chomnala Jaju Pardu Gabri Kepsuchi Dagi Chonyen Gepe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupasho.
Good morning. How are you? Good. Are you okay? No cold, no hot? It's good, right? Yeah, good weather. If we got hot, we can just turn on the AC. We don't have to worry that too much noisy. Anyway, it is wonderful to come back together again. Last week, what did you guys do?
We did the prostrations to the 35 confession Buddha.
Oh, 35 compassion Buddhas. What is it? 35 compassion Buddha. Yeah.
Bob let us say he did a very good job.
Yeah, this is a very, very powerful, practice. One of the best method to purify our negative karmas. Each Buddha has a different power to purify different negative karmas. Like some Buddhas, we pray for that, eons. We get the negative karma purified. Sometimes we say, it's not possible. How is it possible, We just pray one Buddha, how be able to purify like that negative karma. Then secondly, I pray all the time, but still I have a lot of problems. All right? You think that, right? It's possible, right? Small things, big change, maybe like 100 years before. Right now, like small things can change for everything, right? People, that time we explain, okay, like this much small atom to change that, all entire world. People not believe. It's not possible how they come. Right? Every year, like develop all different kind technology, the human's mind. Then we have so many different kind, materials or some technologies can change everything. Maybe 100 years before we explain like that, people not believe it's not possible. It's not just people talking like that. When we recite the sutras, then do you read the Golden Light Sutra? They talk about Lord, right? It's not possible something. It is possible, you really do the right way. Therefore, usually when we all the praise, all the practice to prepare all negative karma, but like 35 compassion Buddhas, confession, not compassion. Confession Buddhas and 100 syllable mantras with the Vajrasattva is the one of the best method to purify our negative karma. Therefore, you get a good job. You know, there are a lot of stories, you know, who practice 35 confession Buddhas, how they purify negative karma, they can see that some different signs. Do you guys have any signs? No? You don't have any signs? Do you got some signs? You know, we don't really see that signs. That usually, basically, you know, you're more interested to study Buddhism, study practice. This is the sign. You know, you purify your negative karma. Some people, you know, feel bored, feel tired too much. It is, honestly, it's also blessed for the Maras. It's not good sign. You know, in order to finish our practice or study, we need a lot of merit. Otherwise, it's not able to finish. You know, like what the Geshes, like my classmate has 56 monks. First we start. I think there are only 64 or 5 monks get Geshe. More than half, right? Yeah, more than half doesn't get chance there. Because they're not, you know, oh, I don't want that, but how the karma take different directions. You know, there's some monks also in the monastery, they're always sick. Then they go to some other place, they don't sick. And then they return back to the Bangalore, they got sick. Then also teachers say, oh, they don't have enough the merit to study. Also, they don't have the enough the merit with the relationship with the monks. Can you say that?
Also, maybe they didn't have the karma, or the merit, to be able to consume, those dharma and the, material things that that's been offered to them.
Right. Like here, in Boston, there are how many people? A lot of people, but not many people interested in dharma. One of the Samdara Rinpoche, have you Samdara Rinpoche? Samdara Rinpoche is the one that the most Tibetan scholar to, of course, Buddhism, also the Sanskrit. Even his speech in India colleges, his speech is Sanskrit. Then India people don't understand. He's very pure, but he's a really scholar. Then he's a whole entire world, all the colleges, educations, all the colleges, put one table, one side. Then we put Heart Sutra one side. Which one was more valuable? We say, oh, there's so many colleges, they have great things. But he says it's not enough. They're not enough the Heart Sutra, or they're not convinced.
Not enough to stand against the
Heart Sutra. Therefore, then we usually, when he talk also, the regular people also very difficult to understand. He uses very like beyond. He's very scholar. Therefore, that's the reason, Then he's Heart Sutra. What's Heart Sutra? There's no ear, no eyes. They talk of emptiness. You think that, right? But benefit. If you really study Heart Sutra and practice that, you will able to free from the suffering. It should be enlightenment. Yes, good benefit we study for the whole trial or just one college's education is good for this life. Right? Then how you to live your life, how you walk, that's good. It's not said they are not benefit, but compares Art Sutra, then nothing there. Therefore, usually this time is a degenerate. People are not really interested to study, practice Dharma, especially the Buddhism. The last week, one of the Taiwanese monk, Hato Master, he came here. He said, Tibetan Buddhism is too complicated. He's very popular in Taiwan. He has his own TV channel. The thousands, billions people follow him. But he said that Tibetan Buddhism is too complicated. Always study. Right? But it's good, study is very good. No, people do retreats. It's good, I'm really 100% support that. You do 3 years retreat. So very good, very good. What purpose to retreat? Subdue our own mind. Sometimes people come out the retreat, they become more like before, like this, like very soft person. Then they're a little bit tall. Just I did 3 years retreat. This I saw a lot of people. Maybe this is the one of the culture that Western style. They say I did 3 years retreat or such kind. It shows like you are more. How do you say? More ego.
Pride.
Yeah. Okay, now you're the lay people, you have to serve me. Sometimes, even the monks have that, some monks have. It's the lay people's job to serve the monks. It's not monks from the monks, I'm not saying monks bad, okay? From the lay people's job to serve the monks, so yes, their job. Why? Because monk is the representative of the Sangha, 3 jewels. If you're able to serve the monks, you serve the 3 jewels. You get the merit. Like therefore, you can see the Asian tradition, China, Tibetan, like most Asians, they serve monks very carefully, very respectfully. This is, they're really custom, yeah. Then the Westerns, very open, they just say me go, right? But it's not Western's problem because they're not educated that way. Sometimes we talk about the Guru devotion, right? You say, wow, Guru's that, Buddha, you have to see that he or she's Buddha, then people think also very easy to wrong way, especially the Western style. One of the, Geshe Rinpoche, the most very high practitioner of Buddhism. Usually he doesn't like to teach for the Guru devotion Western people. Geshe Rinpoche. He has a beer. He came to the Malaya Center, I think so. He doesn't want to teach for the Guru devotion Western because it's very easy to take our own way. Then you say you need to offer the teacher, you need to see that the teacher is the Buddha, you need to see the teacher, then they say, who explain? It's teachers, right? The student doesn't explain. Therefore, it's taking, okay, looks here, we need to him or she see the Buddha to offer things, who do things. It's very easy way take. Therefore, he doesn't like to teach for the good devotion. But it's very important, right? Example, when you have to learn something, you need to take the teacher who you have the trust, right? You don't trust anyone, right? When we trust a person, then he or she advise, we follow that. Then we get the benefit. It's not benefit for the teacher side, it's benefit for our side. right? Because we follow 100% doctor's advice. Yes? Especially you guys, really Western people. Also India is a lot. Tibetan, usually Tibetan medicine doesn't work Tibetans. Tibetan medicine is very popular for the India. The Dharamsala won his own lamas, doctor. Now he's like maybe almost 90 years old. He stopped looking. But all different states India people come to try to see him. Because, that doctors say, they have someone that say, cancer patient, they say, oh, you are just die, you have nothing to do. Then they went to see him, then when you go to see, also you're not able to, how to believe. Usually Tibetan medicine, the tradition, they check your urine. Pee, right? Urine. He checked 3-4 people's pee together. Like, everyone put the piece in a small bowl, then he just came out at the bathroom. Then we go, he said, come, he did pee first, like, that. They said, okay, pee number 4, pee on the tooth. When you come, he exactly told you which piece, who's got that. 2, 3, just check together. One time also the India, I think I already told this story. Yeah, one India, like some little bit, high level family person, he got sick. Then he said, oh, maybe that, that doesn't, Tibetan medicine is also very hard to eat, all the grasses. Then he just first checked. He told he's the one with the step walkers and give the cows eaten. Usually also Tibetan tradition, you don't have to go person. You send your pee. You say that you're eaten. Or you say? It's about right. Because you can send them, they can check, they can give you medicine. Then the families, usually the father got sick. The father told their workers, okay, take our cows, pee. Go to see him. Then he checked. The cow was a female. Then he said, wow, this is your mother? She's pregnant? The cow and also has a baby, pregnant. He found, oh, this is your mother. He has a baby. He understand like that. Like this is, I don't know how they look, the tradition. Anyway, he's then they go back, then he step talk with the father, he said, then he accepted, he come back to see him. Like that, a lot of Indians come to see, then they take medicine very serious. What he told to eat, what he told to don't eat, how you take the medicine, they really follow like some of the Western people. Therefore, medicine work. Like Tibetans, we take medicines. We sometimes forgot the morning medicine, sometimes we forgot evening medicine, sometimes we eat together, sometimes we forgot one day. It really doesn't, we just, sometimes we use very close, we don't have much feeling, right? Like that. Therefore, not much, we take that we're not very, Tibetan medicine best, we're not very serious. Like the Indians, they're really serious. I think the Indian government also there accept you can open or you can sell the market, the Tibetan medicine. Like that. Because you follow the doctor's advice, then my point is, because you get benefit, right? Same as here, we follow the doctor's advice. We get the benefit. It's not for doctor. It's true? It's work. Now we exchange for the Guru devotion way. Because you follow Buddha Dharma advice or teaches advice because we got the benefit. But you don't trust the person, you don't follow. But you also, we not say you have to trust that. You have to check he or she, how he or she talk. Is teaching is Buddha's real Buddha's teaching or someone really make? Not that this time the yoga people, I'm not criticizing yoga people, but they make the Tibetan Buddhism, then mind training, they mix together. They say this is Buddhism, mind training. It's not Buddhism mind training. Mindfulness. It's mindfulness. They say this is a Buddhism mindfulness. It's not Buddhism. Buddhism mindfulness is very deeper than that. Much deeper. They just, cover, then they use the name, then they use also other techniques put together, like they use, right? Therefore, I don't know why I have to say that. The Buddha's teaching is very deep, very difficult to understand, but you can check Buddha's teaching, you can check the teacher who teach, then you trust, then follow that, because we get benefit, not the teacher's side, right? It's work. Then what Buddha's teaching talk about? Something we don't want always, we just teach to how you get up there. We have problems, sufferings, right? Then Buddha's teaching teach for us how we come to keep your mind peaceful. I say, I want peace. It doesn't work. We need to technique. We need to walk. Therefore, we study more. Therefore, Heart Sutra talk about the emptiness. You really understand emptiness. Emptiness is the opposite of the subtraction, or is it? Subtraction and sub-grasping. All the problems come from sub-grasping.
Self-grasping.
What do you say?
Self-grasping.
Sub-grasping. Ignorance. I think you guys teach me 100 times, still man. Yeah, right, 100 times. But this is, we really think about. Country is a problem, business is a problem. Any problems, they start from the sub-grass ignorance. Did I say that? Sub-grass ignorance. Right? Everyone thinks of my country, then my neighbors, my family members, then me. Always start. You just check, this is really true. Because this is the poison for our life. If we get up there, we need to understand the emptiness. We say emptiness, yes, emptiness, everything. Then nothing exists inherently. We say very easily. We need compassion for mothers and children. We say this very easily. But to do the practice is very difficult, right? Even we here talk about bodhicitta, compassion, loving kindness, talk 2 hours. You go out, someone blow your car. Do you know this car? Whose car? It's maybe 5 minutes. I have to go, run with something to do. This is whose car? All the 2 hours talks are gone. Is that right? Because this is, we don't really practice. It's not you guys, including myself, all of us. Because we don't really put into practice daily life. We study here, then just at that close book, leave that. And then we go back, you have to do some mantras, you have to finish that. Some prayers, you have to finish that. Then, you leave that. Usually, whatever we learn every day, class here, we try to put small things to put into our practice. Then it's work. Okay? Now I'm talking too much. Now we go to what cause for we rebirth the samsara. Correct? The cause is the 12 links. 12 links. Right? Clearly? What are the 12 links? Can anyone say without looking at the text? 12 links, maybe not Jennifer. Anyone say 12 links? What are the 12 links? Okay. Any another one? Ignorance, then karma, then huh? Little bit loud.
I'm sorry, was that the 12 links?
12 links.
Okay. Rebirth, did we say that?
Yeah, I don't know one said that. Yeah.
Oh,
If order is good. Do you see? Do you remember we have Wednesday class? One class that without missing the one by one meditation. It's not easy, right? Even you know the names, it's not too easy to how is that? How is it? Serial application, yeah. Therefore, even we know that order is different. Okay, can you say it without looking book?
Ignorance, constitutional factors, consciousness, name and form, six spheres, contact, feeling.
Yeah. No, it's hard. It's not easy. Yeah, can you say? Can you say loud?
Ignorance, compositional factors, consciousness, name and form, six sense spheres, contact, feeling, craving, grasping, existence, birth, aging, and death.
Good. Can you guys say that? Repeat? No. It's okay. But even, if you say these words, you get a lot of merits. Okay. Now we have the translator here in not Nepal. It's right here. we did one or two times, right? Also Sunday class.
One Sunday class, right?
You did one Sunday
Online? Online translation?
One or two. Yeah. 다 간지 간좀 코알라 제발해야 다 텐데로 주니 거는 제발한 게 그러와.
So anyway, we take birth in cycle existence, through these 12 interdependent links, right?
아니 다뒤 나네 자 아니 가르쳐나 간지 텐데로 주니 때 뺏는 거 어느 저와 뭐 따바 고면라 안 빼면서 내가 전부 자고 그래.
And these 12 interdependent links are very important in order to meditate on death and impermanence.
아니 빼나 남서 배회 고마망 제가 고살아야 아니 텐데로 주니 거야. 아니 다른 못 되셔요 그래.
And also you might see that in many of the Tibetan temples, at the entrance, you see this the picture of the wheel of life.
그래서 저도 야면 로베까블야 아니 처음부터 와 챙고 봐. 아니 대단해야 즉 신지 주자 그 가를 섬대원으로 지어졌다.
So-
신지 연하면 알아.
So the purpose of having that displayed on the entrance is that every time you go in and out, you see that and you think about death and impermanence. And so so the wheel of life also is like kind of held by like a monster. There's like there's resembling the Lord of Death. So the Lord of Death, holding or like biting, to that wheel of life like that.
오케이. 근데 내 지난 내가 전부 주자는데 봐 제오지는데 뼈 무슨 제오시야요. 당가도 제가 자상 시나 나도 고 배드라고 자는 거 왔어.
So this is very important, and there is a very extensive explanation about that. If we were to go into all those details, it might be even more confusing.
단데 시던 고대오지나 추 계자 맞는데 진대 계셔. 진대 계시고 진대시.
So in a simple way, to talk about it, it's just talking about the cause and effect, right? What causes, and then what results comes through that.
근데 다 진대세 탄이 존조하고 온데 진대세 가니가는 존조 답도 하고 온도.
So you know the cause and results, right? Cause and effects, you know that. What are the causes and what are the effects?
그리고 남정어도 변에 신가 따봐야나 신도 따봐야나 매도 따봐나 다 진대로 당용 거로 왔어.
So normally, like when we sow a seed, of crops or plants or fruits. So there's like cause and effect there, right?
단 로타 대시 그래. 대응외에서 봐. 가도 지금 소셔져 말아 왔어.
So that's how things work, and it's the reality. It's not something made up by somebody or created by somebody, some supreme being, right?
Right? 남자만 가도 출력에 시험다 말았지 beyond 뭐지. 잡로도 뭐지 이거 가도 tun토하면으로 시작이 여러 봤어. 시작이 되는 여러 들어.
So that's in general speaking, right? When we talk in general, when we're not relating it with the religion, but just in general, that's the reality, right? The farmers work in the field, they sow the seed of the crops, and they harvest the crops and like that. So that's the reality, So, but when you talk, with the religion, in relation to religion, then always there's like something supreme power that kind of forces or creates that.
제가 먼저 참여는 그렇게 하려고 그래 봤어.
And we all accept science, right? We all accept science.
Yes. Are we surprise science? 가는 세리 봐서야 되고 가서 의원에서 강의 받은 가서 놀라도 떠는 걸 되게 봤어.
The science is what it shows what it really is, right? It shows what it really is. Is it?
근데 이제 right? 전에는 세리라 항상 지대가는 강의 받은 의원에서 태점에 떠용하다 틱다다 왜?
And then also they do the measurements or other studies and then show it, whatever it is, they show it and show it out, right, to us, and that's why we get surprised.
근데 이제 때때로 주니서 돼 가도 개발한다 가도 개와 가는지 랭겨래. 되게 노동가 해야 되게.
And so these 12 interdependent links explains how we take birth, in cycle existence, how we are born in cycle existence.
그래서 다 가상은 좀 말이 반이 바지 다 쓰는 스파숨기 발바지 셋다 다 드리께와 개간이 뭐지 바지 라면으로 인스.
And so last time we already talked about starting from the ignorance and all the way to like craving, grasping, and becoming, right? And now we're left with the last two, the birth and rebirth and aging and death.
저도 드마 줄로셔도 드마 줄로셔 드마 빼다고 전에 고대고 싶이 랍샤스. 찌찌바 개완에 드마 줄로셔도.
거르두다.
시라로 뭐지 어떠봐야. 양 레라 셀렌지 섭 많이 반겨와 나세신도.
So
저도 로셔도 괜찮은 많이 야오다 그러니까 와서.
So let's read it through this outline 317, 318, 317 and 318. So 318 is kind of long, but we can go through it. Then Geshe will tell us where to stop it. Okay.
저 갈래들로다 뒤통다다 하고 놓아야 돼.
This link extends from just after his activation, when the now potent karma, which will be responsible for our reincarnation, serves as the basis for our being conceived in one of the 4 types of rebirth, until just after our conception into this rebirth, aging and death. We receive, where applicable, the link of aging and death in order. Aging is the maturing of the aggregates, the gradual changing of their condition. That is what we call the destruction of the aggregates or their ceasing to function. Once you have properly recognized these 12 links and can distinguish between them, you must know how to group them properly into limbs. There are 4 of these limbs: precipitation limb, the establishing limb, the resultant precipitation limb, and the resultant manifest limb. Ignorance is like a sower of the seed. The karma, action, the compositional factor, motivated by ignorance, is like the seed. And like the earth into which the seed is planted, the consciousness, time of the cause, has the instinction of this accumulated karma put into it. So the precipitating, throwing limb refers to the 5 ignorance. Ignorance, compositional factors, and the consciousness, and at the time of the cause. Not the other divisions of the consciousness link, that at the time of the result. Just as the seed is nurtured by water, manure, heat, and moisture, so craving and grasping activate karma into being able to produce a result. Like a seed being made potent enough by water, manure, heat, and moisture to develop into a sprout, karma that has been activated by craving and grasping is made certain to precipitate the aggregates of the one's next reincarnation. Thus, craving, grasping, and becoming are the established limb. Just as the sprout has grown in from the seed, so the link of the rebirth that is being conceived into one's incarnation is one component of the resultant manifested limb. Half links made of the resultant precipitated limb. The consciousness at the time of the result, which I have already described, name and forms were applicable, the senses, contact, and feeling. Aging and death, where they apply, are another component of the resultant manifested limb. So the resultant manifested limb is made up of the limbs of rebirth plus that of the aging and death. Let us take the example of rebirth as a God. Through the power of our ignorance, that is, being blind to suchness, the instincts of the accumulated karma that we will throw us into the rebirth as God is placed in our consciousness. When we feel how I will become rebirth as God, the aspire to the instance in our prayers, and so on, this is craving. When we put even in this inspiration, this is grasping. Death, these last two make up the karma certain to throw us into this rebirth. This is becoming. And so the three components of the precipitating limb and the three of the establishing limb, the links at the time of the cause, 6 in all, are completed in this life. Then we are reborn as a God. The other 6 links at the time of the result are completed in this next rebirth as a God. 4 of them, name and form, and the sense and the contact and feeling, are the resultant precipitating limb, and the 2 rebirths, as explanations, are the resultant manifested limb. This is how one sets of fluid links is completed in 2 lifetimes. Take the example of the rebirth in the lower realms. The same principles apply. Because of our blindness to the law of cause and effect, we accumulate non-virtuous karma, which is activated by craving and grasping, etc. It is impossible for one set of the links to be completed within one lifetime, under the power of one karmic action. The fastest is definitely 2 lives. It takes longer when we have been.
That's good. It's 2000.
자동 삼아.
저 생일랑 해봐 그 베스 글라스.
어디?
2000.
다 생년에 버거스. 안틸라 라고 시레스.
대랑 거다 저 얼마 마모도 좀 먹었지. Okay? You understand? Huh? You have questions? What do you think?
I wish there was a chart that you could see the 4 limbs.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Any questions? Do you understand? You don't understand? No. Okay. Now I can kind of brief explain. Okay. That more and Shiva said it, and that and so the way young son to be in Bantajan and Jabalas, Jenny, you will come and give it. Silence passing and the suitabala, then candy and Javashima and the Jig, that Jenny you can reach and buying at the Jenny you can Yenzo Javana, the Java la Grace.
And so activated the seed, the karmic imprint that's been activated by grasping, craving, grasping, and becoming. Then when one takes birth, in any of the 4 rebirths, 4 types of rebirth, that's called the rebirth.
And tell her and Chulola go Mari Kanji, my Tangan, my Yazukadi Javana, and give it to Savare.
And so when that seed, of or the karma, karmic imprint, to be born as such and such being is been activated by craving, grasping, and becoming, then the consciousness is being conceived into the womb or wherever one is going to be born from.
Okay.
And so that time is the birth starts, from the time it's conceived, not like a birth like coming out of the womb, but from the time when it's conceived in the womb.
Jenny Shiore, Jena Shiore, Jodo Shinga.
So there are 4 types of birth. Do you know, right? Do you know them?
One Ngaltipena,
Like a womb, right? The birth from womb,
Ani Goncheres,
an egg,
아니 저체레스
heat,
아니 지치사요레스
and the miraculous birth.
배다
Miraculous, like miracle. Huh? Third one is heat. Heat,
Yeah.
moisture, heat.
배나 먹카시 먹 sem진 먹카시 다고 사자 롬바도로 가는 제용도
Like,
먹자용도
like an insect, many kinds of insects. You know, the worms or insects, they are born from heat, from the moisture.
또
Wherever there's like a little bit of damp, then when you like a stone, then when you flip the stone, then you see many worms or insects there.
텔라니 근데
So those are like a birth from heat or moisture.
But what state are they coming from that the heat activates? What's their previous condition?
람람 뭐죠? 기왕마다 람은 지금 강조 대체시 바레스.
So what do you mean, like what kind of rebirth before that?
No, what's their immediately preceding condition before the heat activates them into becoming worms?
가령 대konlo kare arsakta ngona 가령 가던가 같은 영상자야 저러다 마잉가라 영상자 잡들어 거기다 대 전화 영상자로 그래.
왜 앞전에 주자.
전화 영상자로 그래. 집어지잖아.
집어지잖아요.
So just like like you've been conceived into the womb, now you're like kind of conceived into the heat, like by heat or by moisture. So there's
So formless.
폼레스 말 돼. 폼.
what do you mean with formless?
How do they relate to the parent? I mean,
The parents.
yeah, but where do they come from? How do they come from?
제한테 고용에 말해서 간지 코로나서 제자가 때 남시대 텔레바다 텔레바다 코로 폼모도 주는 거예요.
Yeah, so they don't need there's no parents for
There
that.
are no parents.
There are no parents, so the consciousness, goes into that place, where there's a heat or moisture, and then their body forms from there.
디가 라슈고 소소가 레가 라슈고 소소라 고야가 따지 수복 차됐는데 조용도.
So then from there, so like the body part, of that worm or insect, is formed from there. Or is there any different explanation how?
Is there cell division?
Uh-huh.
Is there cell division? Is that what it is?
전자 촌속에
So
되는
that's all developed, through the heat.
근데 촌속에 변나 가도다 테레비 모시가로 변나 파마 먹고 있는 비기 부들의 용어다. 부들이 아끼는 거 여러분.
So how does science explain about that? And the insect, the worms, do they have a parents or do they need that?
I thought you could just put a piece of some dirt down and add heat and water.
And then the consciousness, no. Consciousness has to enter there. The consciousness, has to enter
I
there.
think this comes from the parent, but I don't know how it works.
Mm.
They're talking about insects.
You're talking about worms.
Insects or worms or
They don't flower dirt out of nothing. They must come from something.
제다
From eggs.
코로도
Eggs. They come
yeah.
from eggs.
Where come from egg? Where the eggs come from?
Eggs come from
The parent.
parents.
The necessary parents?
so they don't go get
근데 고제 때 같이 말했어.
If there's an egg, if they are born from the egg, then there's a birth from egg, not from birth, not a birth from a heat. That's not a birth from heat. There's no egg, when you're born from the heat.
Right, I think we're trying to distinguish
Yeah, open the that this
from egg and birth from
Heat, yes.
They are.
다 간지 된적 먹을 때는 요래
So
간지.
not all of the insects, there's some kind of insects, right?
Yeah.
There's some kind of
Kind of-
insects that they don't, you don't need a parents, egg or anything. There was nothing there, just some have heat, and then from there, like it just comes up like that. So if there's like a mud or stone, right, and there's a moisture or something, then when you flip the stone, you see next time you see. Before there wasn't anything. But next time you see, there's already a worm or some kind of insect there.
간지 다 된대요. 다 간지 간도 통요 남아 간지 된대 요래서 간지.
So anyway, I mean, so some of us have seen it, some of us not seen it, but whether it is or not, that's what it means, like a
Kaji
birth from
today-
heat.
조치해야 돼. 아니 사자도 받아도 조지라. 된이 깨다 직상이 요래서. 아니 깨다 질을 땅 간도 많이 nga지해야 돼. 간도 다 돈좀 좀 마치해다. 모두도 간가 아니 nga지해 봐.
So that's one kind of rebirth, one kind of birth, where you're born from, and the other one is of course womb, and then there's like human beings and many animals, they are born from womb.
다 단다된 거네 변 세리비게 따지는 거네 변 간지 어때? 따지는 거는 통하지 벌써 저거로 조치해야 돼. 간이.
So yeah, the heat, the birth from heat, if it is really investigated by the scientists, I'm sure they will find out,
They will find
how they are.
Well, Jennifer mentioned like molds and things. I think that would be an example, but they don't have consciousness, I don't believe. decided to do, I don't know. Mold and
Got it?
Not a sentient being, is it?
그래서
몰 세는 것도 되는 것도 가서 뭐보러 쳐도 돼. 롬바처럼 뭐보러 쳐도 디딩 거는 진짜 지금 말더라. 이 실은 지금 말다.
대도 샘지 말했어. 이나 딱 간지 샘지들이 열어서 가지. 대도 나오도 대단히 샘지들도 파드날 짜나지 로마나지 샘지들은 뭐 용도 왔어.
I mean, there could be the mold, there could be a sentient being in the mold also, There could be, but not necessarily that every mold is a sentient being. Like nowadays, you see some animals, they look exactly like a plant. They're like leaves or something like that, They look exactly like that, but they happen to be a sentient being, Like that, there could be.
산지가 손에 짜다워 샘지 아니 희다워 샘지 메도다워 샘지들이 산지가 노는 노와.
So even in the sutra it's mentioned, when a sutra is always by Buddha, right? So So what is mentioned in sutra, that means it's mentioned by Buddha. So in the sutra it's mentioned that there are like sentient beings who look like plants, who look like a tree or like a leaf or like a flower,
오케이. 다들 지겨워지. 대 제다 찍지. 제다 니바데 nga체지. 아니 제다 선바데 디제레. 다 디제데 아니 라마모 디제 저거를 아니 바도 아니 자도 디제 저거를.
And then the miraculous birth, like gods, most of the god, all the gods, the god realm, all the gods, they are born miraculously, and the beings in the intermediate state are born also. The intermediate rebirth in the intermediate state is also miraculous birth.
아니 공제되다 다 강동데 다들 자치고도 마차 공제 지금도.
And then the egg, birth from egg, is mostly the birds, right?
와 간제 텐데질라 년서 가디 잡아나 텔라 제베 텐데들라 그래. 제베 텐데.
So whenever you have conceived into any of these four types of rebirth, it's called rebirth.
다 제베스.
So when you die, you're born into the intermediate state,
야.
and that's a miraculous birth?
Yes.
야. 다 테니 제네 끼치 니바네 게베드네 접사레스. 다 니바다. 주니바 게시 게베 텐데 접하나 대양 안에 풍부 내까지 저는 접하나 간지 풍부 예완도 원래 그래서.
So from the second moment of the conception, then the aging starts from the second moment. You're conceived and and then the second moment you're already aging. So like it says here, aging is the maturing of the aggregates, the gradual changing of their condition. So gradual changing. So from the moment it starts to change, it's already aging. So the age starts from the second moment of conception.
제가 가도 니가 다니 제와나 보실로 아미실로 맞이거네. 다 게베드네 접사래. 게베드네. 게베드네라 그랬다. 그지.
So now the dependent link of aging has started actually from the time you are conceived, right? From the second moment of your conception. So you don't have to be even born. You don't have to even come out of the womb. While you're a womb, you're already aging. You're already an old person.
그제나 텐데게 제바데 고 끼치 세컨 딱까지 가지고 건져반다고 여러 왔어.
And so yeah, the change happens, right? Every second, like every split seconds, it happens. So that's the aging starts from there.
배나 뭐도 실로고 짜 드셔라고 나 고지제는 배나 저다 남시도 가가 다는 거 세컨 제 건져반다고 그래 니네.
It's the same like the plants and the grasses outside there. They change depending on the condition, right? When the conditions are provided, then they change every second or every split second. They change.
그래서 다 게베드네 접으래서 게베드네.
So that's the dependent link of aging that has started from there.
오케이 나 게와르서 다 가서 게사는 가서 짜가 보자 안데 니마만 보자 아니 신마들 가서 게 다니 자고 말아 왔남시 되게.
So normally, the conventionally we will say aged. When they say somebody's aged, then it has to be like someone who has with a gray hair or wrinkles, all this is right. And you say, oh, he's aged or she's aged.
아니 게와도 셔완이 집어졌다. 셔와도 아니 풍부 돌아가건 집발라. 아니 풍부 아니 다 셔되네라 그래서.
And then, so you're talking about the link of the aging and death, right? So dependent link of aging and death. There's a one link, and so the changing of that limb, also the body, becomes the aging, and then when that stops, or when that's destroyed or and ceases to function, then that's called death.
Okay, your question.
Yeah, Geshe, thank you. So going back to the intermediate state, so one can be born into that, but we always learn that it usually lasts for 49 days. But is it possible for one to be born in the intermediate state and for it to last indefinitely?
샤십 쉬고만 되게 말서라. 한 샤십을 하다 되게 말어서.
다 남중 가서 세다지나 내가 말라 그랬다.
Well, according to the explanation in the text, no, it's not possible. Not possible, to live for more than 49 days.
디바라 고체네 라는 그랬어 가지.
So by then, you will find some good rebirth,
그냥 이제 내가 세워
Other rebirth.
some kind
Yeah,
of
the-
rebirth, yeah, some other rebirth. Yeah,
나도 내가 세웠지 말았다. 내가 세세세라는 거 된다고 지발했어.
it's just like finding a job. So you keep on looking, and you find a job.
제가 몇가지 내가 비나 던다치기라 그래. 가시 니만 이라라. 가시 니만 뭐라. 가시 나무 거로.
So some people find job in few days, and some people it takes few weeks, and some people takes a few months.
야, that's like 왜 대체 말해. 그 뭐게 쇼 봐도 쳐서부터 그 지와 책이야.
So it's like from the moment you start, you have landed into the intermediate state, you start to look for rebirth.
Okay? Yes.
But it doesn't have to take 49 days, but that's the most that.
Yeah, this is the longest one.
That's right. Yeah.
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 Okay? Then any questions there, Dan? Yes.
Question, just back a little bit. You said conception is when the sperm and egg, the consciousness enters when
Yeah.
in the womb. Does it have to be in the womb, like for a human being? Because sometimes they put the sperm and egg together in the laboratory to do artificial insemination. Does it
Yeah.
consciousness not enter until it's in the womb?
I don't know. This is a question then. 가지 가서 난다 님소 잡아 남시 가디 쉬고 됐지 그래서. 남시도 가디 쉬고 있다.
Embryos,
So
남시도
whenever the consciousness enters into the egg and sperm, when does it enters into the egg and sperm? Does it enter into the tube while it's still in the laboratory, or does it have to be? Does it enter into in the womb when it's already planted in the womb? So yeah, so it depends. So whenever the consciousness enters into the egg and sperm, that's when it is conceived.
대니 저래 땅도 이거 라고 입도 라고 말씀.
Yeah, so just mixing of the egg and sperm doesn't mean you are conceived. So whenever the consciousness enters into the egg and sperm, whenever the egg and
frozen embryos.
yeah,
제가
so if it has the consciousness enter into it, then it's already conceived. If the
So
consciousness
does that
has
mean
not
the
entered,
consciousness is trapped in the frozen embryo?
we don't know. So that's the thing. So Geshe is saying whenever it is have entered into that, then that's when it is conceived.
바시 용어 말해. 가르나 대쇼도에나 인지비 많이 갈 누구 하면 되었어. 남시 쇼도에나.
So I don't know. So is it like
땡가도 다 섬들 빼자는 레 말듯이.
when you mix the egg and sperm in the tube, in the laboratory, it still has to be planted in the womb, right?
It has to be.
Yeah.
It grows a little bit in the tube before they implant it in the womb.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe like unconsciousness doesn't enter into the egg and sperm until it's been planted into the womb.
그래서 오늘 말고는 샤도에나 나한테 쇼도다 나도 삼들다. 레바가 삼다나 아니 인지비 콜루게 하면 되었어.
So if the unconscious can enter into the egg and sperm, before planting it into the womb, then that's not necessary for it to be just logically. It doesn't say in the text, of course, doesn't mention it in the text, anywhere about tube, but logically thinking, then you don't have to plant it in the womb if it can, if the consciousness can enter into the egg and sperm while it's still in the tube.
Yeah. So you should think that this might be a sentient being in the tube.
I don't
You
think so.
don't know if it is.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's possible, maybe not. If that's possible, then why we need to put the womb? If why we have to grow? Why not grow the outside? Why have to grow inside the womb?
An artificial gestator.
You would need some sort of artificial,
Artificial 가.
Zuma.
Gestation.
you would need some sort of artificial environment. for it.
So that's the mixing in the tube is just to help you get that together, right? Sometimes it doesn't it doesn't happen in the womb, so you want to make sure that it happens in the tube, and then you plant it there, right? So that's the only reason. So therefore, I think it's most likely that unconsciousness enters, and only when there is a conducive condition, for it to be conceived.
Okay. Any you heard of any birds, any animals do that? That's the outside.
Chicken.
Chicken.
Chicken egg, you can actually do it outside, but you can put it in a plastic, and you can watch it develop, the chicken develop.
대대지 뭐 그거 공제로 대용 또 그래.
That's the birth from egg, right? Yeah, that happens. You don't have to plant that in the womb, right?
배나 nga chuju ko nge chiu senyo senyo go matata chada go no kege mre keke mo ta de dan nga go ne yo semje chene mo tane shabu khaje chada ani semje so to yo gres ma chulo ma de me nalo amasa ma chedo semje so chune yo mar
And 가지고 잘.
ani tane danda khaje nga do chuju ko 보고 semje to re 다 시우상 가와 내 여래 아니 nga do go chigle 직접 가리 가는 데 식다 안 담보 개개요 말고 나도 엑사이즈요 집어넣어 세보지 되는 막 가지 찍찍찍 자치다도 아니 sem증 수가로 찍 나포로 돼 그래서 근데 야니 막 가지도 찍자다 근데 sem증 때가 들어 먹을 세요 매다 사도록
So Geshe, let's say, when he was child, when he was young, little child, they experimented like, just like as a game, like playing, just curiosity, what happens, when they're like the mother bird, they're like, or the chickens, they're like kind of hatching the egg, and then of course in the beginning of the time there's nothing, right? So it's still just like a regular egg. The white and yellow part, the yolk, right? And then you open it, he said you'll break it, and then he will see the same thing. And then after maybe a week later, and then grab another egg, and then break it, and then you can see like some kind of a form of a body of the chicken. And then you break it, and then maybe a week later again, and then go and grab another egg, to see, and there's a really bigger form now, bigger body. So they can see like that, happening. So that's happening in the egg, And so Geshe, let's say, he, like that way he killed many birds.
I remember that. Then also, if their mother always have to warm them, keep warm. If one night doesn't mother come, they will die. They will frozen. Always because their eggs become, warm. Therefore, they're born from if like their country. Warm, you can put the egg, put the plastic bag. Same, you can get them. The cold.
Same heat, yeah.
Heat the time what it was.
Yeah, so to hatch it, right? So you have the same kind of the warmth, the heat, and just like it gets from the mother bird, then it will hatch. Yeah.
Okay. Today that kanji the tani jadana kanji tenga the tedel juni tedel mata to somebody else.
And so now with that we have already gone through all of those 12 interdependent links.
다들 로탕이 돈데 막 빼하고 줄람도 was 빼 고대버는데 was 마리바 타버도 7대 치바레스.
So then here
사원 대바보 시간 대바보 치바레스.
So here
아니 난 내가 예반도 예바사 페이지에 나스. am 파윈데 페이지에 나던다 가지 다 줬가지는 페이지에 나더레스. 디근 제보는 파윈 제버레스. 아니 응바도 단 타투근 제버도 가리고 그래서 때리다.
And so then it says also that between them, you must know how to group them properly into the limbs. There's like the 4 different kind of limbs. And it says like the precipitating limb, the establishing limb, resultant precipitating limb, and resultant manifested limb.
당고도 담아지 쓰기다. 아니 말이 대신 남시들 아니 페이지에 연락을 그래서.
And so there's like the ignorance is like the sower of the seed, the karmic action and the compensating factor, the motivated by the ignorance. It's like the seed, and then like the earth into which the seed is planted, the consciousness. So these are called precipitating limb.
페이지에 연락을 남 페이지에 연락해서. 아니 스트레스 받는 아니 저지지 연락을 그래서.
So what do you understand when it says precipitating? Projecting or like throwing, So something that throws you into there, So what throws you into that? So that those 3, throws you into that rebirth. So like the throwing or precipitating. I usually use the term throwing, but like it says here, it's precipitating. So that's what it means. Like it throws you into the next life. What throws you? The karma. Out of ignorance, you create the karma imprint of karma, which you leave in the consciousness. So because of that, then you get the rebirth in the next life. So that throws you. So that's called the precipitating or throwing limb.
다 스트레스 받는 저지지 연락을 그래서.
And then it says it's establishing limb. And so then, but you that's what throws you. But then what establishes that? What makes it really happen? Those are the craving, grasping, and becoming. So those 3 are called establishing limb.
Okay, 다 듣고 진정이 남긴 너도 듣는 거다. 아니 뒤질라다 아니 가르고 깨와치 말말 아니 가르고 대골 가르고
Mingsu.
무주 신체축 아니 레파 초와 나 돈돌아 돈돌아 아니 가르고 파빈 레벨라 그래서
And then, so then the name and form, the six sense, the contact, and the feeling are the resultant precipitating limbs.
다 대금 파빈 레벨 안에 딱 온발 가지 다 노동하도 가지 통해서나 레벨라 아니 깨와도 가와니 통으래.
And then, so those are the resultant, right, the precipitating or throwing limb. And then, then what really happens, through that, then what we really get is the rebirth, right, the rebirth, the aging and death. So those are the resultant manifested limb.
오케이. 당가도 신도 답고 했다. 신도 답고 했나 배나 신도 내법이라 대 말이 봐도 빼지 말아야지.
And so, like for example, now we're sowing a seed, of the a fruit like an apple. What's that, maribodi?
말이 봐도 내법보다 신대법 신갈려고 신갈려게.
And so it's like the person, the farmer, who plans to sow the seed. And so he thinks, I'm going to sow and I'm going to grow apple, right? So he thinks like that. So that person, the farmer, is like the ignorance.
아니 이방에만 되지 레드 7 답에 7도 코레스.
And then the seed, of the apple. So there's the seed of the apple. So you create the seed of the apple, which is like the karma or compensating factor.
오케이. 따사데 남시간 답고 그래서 사실.
And then the field on which you plant it, which you sow on which you sow the seed, of the apple, is like the consciousness.
다때 답사서마다 가르쳐 버려. 답사서만 하는 그게 왜?
And so once you have planted it, what happens then? Can you just leave it like that? Will it just grow like that from there? Will it just grow the apple, or what do you have to do?
출루고 이래. 남시 도랑 따다대고 이래. 콜람 매자고 이래 와서.
Yes, you have to provide other conditions like water, moisture, like the heat, all these things, right? Manure and so forth.
어디 다 되게 처치돼. 아니 슬라스 맞습니다. 빨래 맞습니다. 딘사들에서.
And so that nurturing, is done by this three, the grasping, craving, grasping, and becoming.
오케이. 다 되게 레벨다 가르치는 거라서나 다는 뭐 사고를 깨되거든. 그 깨내야 깨도 아니 무슨 아니 신체 쭉 저와 레바도 나도 시간군이 돼요 말다.
And so then, with the maturing of the field through providing water, the heat, manure, and so forth, and you are like developing that, right? That the seed develops. So under the ground, it hasn't sprouted out yet. So it's still developing. So that's like the precipitating resultant precipitating limb, which is like name and form. The sixth sense, that's all developing inside the womb, before you have the whole body, right? And the contact and feelings.
다 대체서마다 다 가래 미 모장이 깨는 거 봐. 아니 되게 사실데 아니 되는 것도 딱 공부 접받아 가서 공부 통과해 봐. 통화돼 온 거로 봐.
And then so after that, then once that's been developed fully, then the sprouts out, right? The sprouts come out, and that is the result, the actual birth,
Yeah,
like
the
birth,
Okay.
birth, the aging and death.
제당가도 신도지 비 깨월랑가도 마보인 로고도 봐.
So in order to grow a fruit or an apple, you have to go through all these different process, right?
다들 저와지 되나 배나 신도 배나 애플 코란 맞대와지 애플 계산 신의 되어져 걸라 애플 기반 고속사래서나.
So the question, I have a question. So like say we planted a seed of apple, right? And then that apple tree grows, right? The apple tree grows first, right? And then from then, after the apple tree, then comes the apple, right? So when did the apple started to come? From the time the tree started to grow, or only when it really comes out? When did it started to grow, the apple? Huh?
I think it has to have the pollen, has to have two kind of, that's why you need bees to grow the other pollen.
Yeah, we put bee right. We put the bee already put when we put the seed underground. We put all the seeds there, right?
There's already the apple, there's already
It's contained in it, it's the potential.
apple, the potential for the apple is already in the
It's
tree.
already in the.
Yeah.
It's in the
Bee
seed.
even hits it.
But if it doesn't come, it won't have that.
It's in the
This is the question.
The apple is in the seed.
Right, you can get the apple, but he's saying when is the apple, your question was when is the apple there?
No,
Yeah,
when,
when it starts to grow, yeah.
When does it start to grow?
When it does, when it starts to grow. So when did it start? Apple doesn't like pop
Come
up,
up.
happen like that, right? So it has a process. It has all this process it has to go through. So then, when did the actual apple started to grow from?
When all the conditions were correct.
there were conditions already under the ground before come. We see the apple.
For the apple tree.
Only the tree come. Or apple already start.
The tree has to come first.
Because the apple, we see an apple as separate sometimes, kind of separate because it's something that we eat. I mean, we know it grows on a tree, but the whole thing is the process, and the apple is just one product of what the tree, the apple is the result of what the tree is doing, but the tree's also doing a lot of things that aren't apples. So the actual process starts when the seed
Put that. See,
is-
put that. Ah, that's good.
Is that funny? I don't know.
No, this is good. Good idea.
Okay, right,
What you guys think?
right, it's, so it's, it's kind of like saying,
Yeah. 대가서 빼잖아. 빼면 간조 년사 잡아당 제비든 쳐봐이 버스. 대가서 빼는 총고 그래서.
Yeah. So from the moment you are conceived, the moment you are conceived, the birth has already started. The rebirth has already started. That's what he's saying here, right? So that's why we're trying to apply that, to the the growing of the apple.
Okay,
The moment the
this
seed is planted, sowed into the ground, the apple has started.
so, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, that's good. If yes, you guys accept that, that's good. If you don't accept, then we have to more detail, more.
So then we have to say, when did it start?
Yeah.
So we can see that apple is a much intended aspect of the growth, much anticipated aspect
good, yeah.
for us at least, but the whole thing, right, is continuous.
Yeah, that's good.
In the intermediate state, we're not born in a life yet. We're only born when our consciousness enters the womb. So just like that,
Yeah.
if you've got a tree, the apple isn't born yet. The apple hasn't started until it's fertilized, and then that's the beginning of the apple.
But you have to have the apple, but you have to have the apple,
Yeah, you
it
have
has
to
to be a
have mother
tree
and
of the
father
apple.
in order for the consciousness to come, so I'm equating the mother and father with the tree. Mother and father is not me, it's not the rebirth.
Does an apple blossom have to be fertilized in order for the apple to grow on the branch?
Yes,
It does.
yes.
So even if you have a tree, if you never get pollen to come and fertilize the blossom, then the apple won't grow even though you have a tree,
Mm-hmm.
even though you have an apple tree.
So that the conception, the conception is happening at the time when there is a blossom.
But what happens
But
if
think
the
of that.
bee pollen, it has to be an apple tree for the apple to grow. You can't have a peach tree to have an apple. So the apple is already there in the tree before it's born. See what I'm saying? It's like the potential, it's like appleness in the
I've
tree,
never had
right?
children, and I have the capacity,
Right.
but I've never had children.
Therefore, this is.
My children have not been born.
Therefore, this is you have no conditions. Right? 지체는 말은 제가 말was.
Yeah, because you don't have the cause and condition together. All the conditions together for you to have a baby, right? You have to have a child. So
To be born.
yeah, of course, you can have the potential, but you have to have the other conditions together. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, so every ground has a potential to grow, but if there is no seed or no manures and the water and heat and so forth, then it will not grow. So just like that.
So there's no apple.
The
Yomaras.
Got it.
Apple yomara also then.
That was called.
It's potential.
That's
No.
the potential
No,
for
what
apple.
means?
Yeah, it has I agree, the tree has potential for apple.
Yes,
I had potential for a child,
yes.
but your question was,
When does it
When
start?
does start?
when does it start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine hasn't started, the tree's apple hasn't started until it's fertilized.
The blossom.
So when does the fertilizing happen? In the case of the apple, when does the fertilizing happen?
When the bee or insect burns the pollen.
Yeah, but even then, it's not guaranteed.
Of course, yeah, there's no guaranteed anyway.
It has to be a chemical reaction.
Anyway, it's okay.
다 말한 것도 이 신도 깨서 신동에다 레사라 동부야 깨차네. 그냥 거기도 이 매도 샤고라. 매도 샤도 그냥 주부터네 신도 깨기라서 매도 마셔나 신도 깨기 말했어. 되잖아. 신도 거를 깨봤던 게 되는 애플도 깨와 두요 말했어. 깨와 고수요 말했어. 다들 매도 샤도인데 신의 고주 그래. 된 매도 샤도 가서 갈라 닝삼자 왔다고 그랬어.
There'll be also
That makes sense too,
makes
right?
sense, huh? Yeah.
Like the blossoming, when it happens, at that time it's like the conception, and then from there, after that, then you can have then there's like more possibility of having apple after that. Before that, maybe it's just a theory.
이나야 시도 매도 샤야 용이 시도도 막 답더러. 답네 출력 배나 자산 좀 세베 콜라 간지 시도 제기 니밭 콜랩서러데. 시도
뭐는 빼셔야다. 뭐는 보기하기 뒤에 열대는 보기야 말았어. 간세는 뭐 닝삼자 말았어. 다 신도 여버디 보기야 여버디 집어라 그랬어.
야, 근데 이제 미게 고 시도 답자당 시도 매도 제 용어다. 제 용어도 미게 답네 콜롬바지나 고간가 딱 자기로. 대차사나 고 시도도 제 고추 사 말았어.
So so from the time you plant the seed, and then the apple tree grows up, right? And the apple tree which will blossom, the apple tree which will blossom, right? Which will blossom, which not like which may, it's like which will blossom. So that tree, when you have grown, when you plant that seed, and then when that tree starts to grow, hasn't the apple starts to grow from that time?
It's okay. This is a debate. But 간지 빼 두저다. 간지 시도지 제할 텐데 로고도 자당 고도 봐. 시도지 제발라.
So anyway, so that's the example, right? So like to grow an apple, to grow an apple like a fruit, you have to go through all that process, right?
대단한 것도 다 샘제데 제발라 안 두진 제발란 게 그래서.
And so just like to be born as such and such sentient being, you have to go through that process also.
Okay. 근데 이제 yes.
But we're talking about potential, right? Because, I mean, a lot of other things can happen to the tree. Disease could kill the tree. The tree could get hit by lightning. I mean, all these.
Yeah, this happened. This is possible, yeah.
Right. But what we're looking at is the really the potentially the greatest, the best that the tree could do is to live out its full life and produce apple, right?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
True, yeah.
But the question is, when does it start? Anyway.
Right, but I thought we already established that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. 다 떼내려 주니다. What's 12 links?
What are the 12 links of 12 dependent links?
Consciousness, name and form, substance, concept, feeling, craving, grasping, existence,
Okay. 다 디나네 페이지에 연락을 가려 임바세.
So how many of them are precipitating limb? 2.5.
Yeah, that's good. Happy birthday.
Oh, wait, 1, 2,
Precipitating
Yeah,
limb?
2.5, yeah.
2.5 is right.
합도 가래. 합도 가래.
2.5?
Yeah.
야, 합라니까 저도 어때 고도.
Ignorance, compositional factors.
저도 합세도 고도 고려도.
You understand the half? What is half?
Consciousness at the time of the cause.
Okay, yeah.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
제가 대라 안에 지디기 남시는 리딩이면 다나 지디기 남자고 그래서.
Yeah. So the consciousness at the time of the cause is the precipitating limb.
다음 안에 레사서부터 안에 레사서로 다 레사서부터 디긴 레버트발 안에 다 누지지 연락 가르스나.
And so once you have created the karma, right, you have to activate the karma. So what are the establishing limb that activates the karma?
craving, grasping,
Good. This is example good.
So right, you know that establishing limb are craving, grasping, and becoming.
너도보다 시도 따거나 시도 따봐 보여 왔지. 뒤따가 시도 따 그런 게 세ven데 왔지. 답사가 사슴도 거로 왔어.
So if you want to plant a seed, you have to have the farmer who plants it, and then you have to have the seed which is planted, and then you have to have the ground or field where you plant it.
디기 되제데 maring the nam system the better is.
And so those are the three things, like, ignorance, the composition factor, and consciousness.
Okay? 다 대셔도 다 뒤로 가. 다 신도도 제라 양 투제 가는 좀 거잖아.
Then after that, in order for the seed to grow, what do you need? What other conditions do you need? Like, the heat, moisture, right? All these things, the manure and so forth, you need like that.
뒤 대셔도 스팔 렘바 스파섬 레스.
And so those are and as a condition for them to grow, you need these three, the craving, grasping, and becoming, to activate that result. Activate that seed.
다 대셔도는 아니 미기 쳐드는 다고 신도도 제도 지내고 다 날로마로 자직지까지 깜바자로 지그러 와서 올 사올라.
And then, so once you have all these together, all the conditions, like the seed, and the conditions, like the manure, the water, fertilizer, and so forth, then the seed will start to grow, right? It will start to spread its limbs or the roots.
다 디기벨라 미주체리바 남시게 텐데 소와 레파 대시 와스.
And then after that comes the four, the resultant, right? The precipitating limbs, and those are the name and form, the six senses, contact and feeling.
Okay? 아니 대셔도 다 가르쳐는 아니 다 신도 trewa 나지 아니 감도 다 제와다 가와 시왔으면 trewa.
So once that has formed inside the womb, then after that, then comes the birth, right? So just like the apple, you'll have like big, red apple, like that.
Okay? 아니 텔라야 아니 응버티빈 레벨라 그래서.
And so those are the manifested results, manifested
Okay.
limbs.
You understand the four different ones? It's a little bit easy. Now you understand how they're going. 다음에 녀로 사쇼 때 아니 가서 세질라 줘도 세니라 줘서 지도 와서 대대 깔래 가고 이래서.
And then after that, it talks about in how many lifetimes do we complete, all these 12 link, 12 dependent links, right? In a 2 lifetime or 3 lifetimes, like that.
Okay? Can someone explain? Can someone explain how they work? How it work? Someone explain? Okay, done. That maybe you know.
Well, if it was in 2 lifetimes, then the karma would be created in this lifetime, and it would be nourished by craving and grasping in this lifetime, and then the next life would be the birth. So that would be 2 lifetimes.
Good job. You understand? Everyone understand? Okay, not 3 lifetimes. How you do that?
So the karma is created in a past life.
You can maybe example like this life, then more easy for them to understand.
Okay, so for
You
instance,
create the karma this
the
life.
karma to be a human being
Oh, yeah.
created in another life, but oh no,
No example.
Not
You
the
create the
same
karma. You create the karma to rebirth the maybe
yeah,
animal. Okay. You create this time. You create this time. The moment you die, how is that 3?
The craving, grasping, and becoming.
Okay.
So you create a karma to be born as a dog, right? You out of ignorance, you create a karma, and that karma, the imprint of that karma is left on your consciousness. So those 3 are done in this lifetime, right? And then you just did it, and nothing happened to that karma, just like that. And then maybe next lifetime, in the next lifetime, then you activate that karma. In the next lifetime, you activate that karma by the craving, grasping, and becoming. And then that's not, and then the following lifetime, then you are born as a dog. So that way you finish the 12 link in 3 lifetimes.
You got it?
So it's sitting there.
Sitting there.
Just sitting there. Yeah.
가르나 뒤갑서야 안에 레심바질 시탑셔 버렸어.
So yeah, so at that time, you in between that, like say we have, I have a karma to be born as a dog. I've already created karma to it. That karma, the imprint of that karma is in my consciousness. I don't know when I did that, but many lifetimes I still have that. So maybe like this lifetime, this life I activate that, and the next life I'll be born, as a dog. So that way I complete that in 3 lifetimes.
제자 시타다데 레베나 레상하셔 레 톱치루 데임바스.
And so then how do we activate it, right? So and how do we activate? So depending on how much we are familiar with that, right? The familiarity, and then depending on which is more powerful. So if you're more familiar with that, if you're more familiar with the negative karma than with the positive, then negative karma will be activated. And if that is if the positive is more powerful than negative, then more powerful will be activated. And then, but if you have like same power, same familiarity, same power, then whichever is created first will be activated first. Time, yeah. So it depends on the time when you create it first. Whichever is created first, then that will be activated first. At the time of death, yeah.
Okay. Pena pedale shayoris, pena ngezo jawan peje len sendala saane, shagalaga manado chinde, gesemgi, and in the jenny, and gave a sutamne, jawa shimbalan, and ngasura machivaris.
So for example, like you have created a karma to be born in the hell realm, but at the time of death, so when just before you are about to die, you thought about Om Mani Padme Hum, so recited mantra, and then because of that, now your positive karma is being activated by that. And so therefore you are not born in the hell realm. But your karma to be born in hell realm is still there. It's just not activated, but it's still there. And then so you still have the karma in your consciousness, right? So it doesn't mean that it's there all the time. You can destroy it. You can purify it by doing the practice, by doing a purification practice, or by creating merit. You can destroy that before it ripens. So we have created so many karma to be born as a dog. So many, like millions of karma that we have. We have millions of karma to be born as a dog. And so all those millions of karma to be born as a dog can be purified, can be destroyed or purified by engaging in practice in this lifetime. So it's like you had the seed, right? So you have the seed for the apple, but then you kept it in a store, and then it got burnt or it got destroyed or ruined. Then it will not grow into an apple, right? Even though you had that seed for it's just like that. So you can destroy it.
아니 그뒤나 소소 개와야보 드럽요와이나 샴바곰 니제고 마는든 드니야고 제요와이나 너도 셈때 곰로 그래서.
And so whatever action we engage in, we'll get more familiar with that. So like whenever you recite Om Mani Padme Hum or meditate on loving kindness, or cultivate loving kindness and compassion, more you do it, more familiar you become with that. And so because of being so familiar with that, it is possible for you to have those thoughts, of love and compassion, arise in your mind at the time of death. And if that happens, and then if you die with that kind of thought, then you can be born in the upper realm or even pure lands. And so, like for example, somebody who are very always habituated with reciting Om Mani Padme Hum all the time, then he might even or he or she might even go into sleeping, right? Go into sleep while reciting Om Mani Padme Hum. So if you do that, then the whole sleep becomes virtuous. But if you're not familiar, with that, or if you're not habituated or not familiar with that act, of reciting mantra, then it's very difficult, for that to happen when, while you go to sleep, right? So you might even not, you might not even think about it, or even if you think about it, you'll maybe not be able to do it because you're not familiar with it.
Okay. Yes.
So feeling is one of the resultant manifested limbs, and does that mean that every single feeling we have in this life is the result of that same karma that?
So resultant precipitating limb, resultant precipitating limb.
Yes. Okay.
So those are the name and form, senses, contact and feeling. Those four.
Right.
Not the manifest. The manifest will be the last two. Ra. Ngundu jungide. Last two.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, so that feeling though, that's
방배 되고 있어요.
딱 거리 수용파다 아니 셀레 아니 셀레 스바섬지 아니 머리 남치 좀 가른 방war잖아 아니 그러고 신체주 아니 가서요 신체주 아니 좋아해봐 어떤 좀 방war해서
So that's why I get a little confused, with this word precipitating. Like I said, I use the word throwing. So what throws you? The ignorance, karma, and the consciousness that throws you. The consciousness at the time of cause, so that throws you. And what is thrown by them, are these four. The name and form. Thrown. The thrown karma. The thrown limb. Throwing limb and thrown limb.
Right, so they're the effects, the throwing effects then, right?
The effects, yes.
Effects.
Effects of thrown. Or thrown. Like what is thrown? These are thrown. Thrown by what? The ignorance, karma, and consciousness at the time of cause.
So that's my question, so the feeling, is that, so is every feeling that you have from the life
Oh,
that's
okay.
projected a result of that same projecting karma?
그래, 다디 초하다, 다는 가지고 초하세당 가서 백바도 초하세 그 때문에 안 주는데 디딩가 좀 내가 없어 주에 초하더라.
무슨 등
내가 없어. 내가 실로를 던다 내가 초하죠. 디레베스. 디 초하 찍어래 베스 뭐지?
단네 초와도 전도
단단 가서 초하죠.
네 초와도 전도 저거로
그래.
네 전도
네.
만서 가서 이거 때는 맞죠 요와 안에 남시 저 안에 실로로 템바레스 근데 바트바 안에 근데 초와 대도 연거래서 저 네가는 맞죠 이제 초와 내려야 돼. 네 전도
그래 단단 가서 초하대 돼야 되는 가서 다 가서 방지되고 그랬어 그래서.
방지되어야 인데
방배되고 그랬어.
방지
Yes, it is a thrown karma. I mean thrown or the resultant precipitating limb. Yeah, so even the feeling you have now, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came from that.
Yeah, they came from that. Continue that one. Okay? 단 대변은 대시라는 가서 시도 맛 답사해 봐 가서 다소 가서 담게요. 신가 답보지. 사회지 답사가 사선 답쳐와. 답답해 가라 출렁이 가래. 슬레스 받으면 출렁이 딱 고말라 신도 제 조조로 직직직 여러 직 까마로 들러마로 지자를 대라고 그래. 이제 젠체들에 봐 좋아져야 돼.
So like we get the example of planting apple seed. There's a planter and a farmer, and then there's a seed, and then there's a field in which you plant. And once you have done that, then you put a manure, water, and so forth. So that's like activating the seed in the ground already. So that's just like done by the craving, grasping, and becoming. Right? And then once you have done that, once you have provided all those conditions like the water, heat, manure, and so forth, then the seed will be activated, and then it will start to grow. Like the roots will spread, and so forth. So that happening, that when it starts to grow and the roots start to spread, that is just like the name and form, senses, and context and feelings.
다들 응바도 와서 다 응바고는 통하다 그 내가도 수명 통하다 가나 다 제와도 가와니 네가 왜 제와다야 주로 받게 저 그렇게 해야 돼요.
And then when you have, after having developed, fully developed in that, and then when it sprouts into the fruit, that is the resultant manifest limb. And so
Okay.
that would be in this case it would be the rebirth, aging, and death.
This is a little bit easy to understand. This is how to rebirth samsara always. Because sometimes we take the seeds from the apple, put the box, the next year put back. They produce another apple. Then we buy another one, put again like that. Okay? Yes.
So is it during the feeling, or is it in the craving when you just interrupt that change or karma?
What do you mean?
Where can you break the cycle?
Where can you break the cycle? Where like if
How does
I,
cessation happen?
so I have a feeling and it's negative.
Mm-hmm.
And so normally I would go right into craving. So can I recognize the feeling and change and not go into craving? Where does that cycle break or change? How do we change ourselves?
Are you still talking about the 12 link?
Yes.
In the case of 12 link?
Yes. Is there a place within the 12 links that we can change ourselves?
그러다 가도 담아되어라. 먼저 세바세지. 세바도 가도 더바 이제 세거라도 그런지 소화선 당가도 so when you say feeling that means like you feel like doing it. Feeling means like desiring, right?
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
If you don't have the feeling means if you don't have a desire.
Like I noticed so I noticed something and it's disagreeable, so.
Yeah, so you don't have the feeling means like you don't like it. So that already shows that you don't have a craving for that. 처음에는 소리면 내가 진도 믿을 수 없어. 소리면도서는 that's 처음에 봐도 그러다. 제약이 처음에 봐. See, that's the you know, like in Tibetan we don't say feeling. You know, I don't feel like doing it. You know, so it means like I don't want to do it. You know, I don't have a desire to do it. That's what it means, right? I don't feel like doing it. Right? I don't feel like eating means I don't want to eat. So, you know, like feel like I don't feel like eating. So you're talking about when you don't have the feeling, like the yeah.
No, she wants to know.
Okay, maybe I didn't get it. So, what are you saying, Jan?
No, I can't speak for you, but I think what you're saying.
No, you can like maybe explain,
So,
rephrase it.
so it seems to me that in the past I've heard a teaching where within the 12 links, if we can recognize where we are within the 12 links in a situation and then that we can at that point change our mind direction. So it's not get into the grasping, not get in and reinforce.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's just what I'm saying. 당가도 때문에 야는 준이 값으로 때문에 야는 준이 다 준이 나가라 당가도 단다 배는 가도 단다 겨왔다 레사라 레기사네 데부 다 가서 레기 누버데 남쪽 때문에 샤라 남쪽 때문에 샤사데 다데 가서 실렌스 버스면 세 마담나 거데 남쪽 미야요 말아
근데 미야요 말
미야요 데 가서 제가 열아 되다
대체 데레다 ngida dangla bicha ngedo jam pje le sa chawe na shigala ga tele le sitamena ngeso cheg marwas.
Yeah, so it has to, every karma that we have created and the imprint of which we have left in our consciousness, that has to be activated. So activated by craving, grasping, and becoming. So if it is not, then then it will not ripen. It will not ripen the result. So so just like Geshe mentioned earlier about like we have created so many karma to be born as a dog, right? So that karma, if you don't activate with the craving, grasping, and becoming, then it will never ripen into that result of a rebirth as a dog. So you can destroy it. You can purify that karma to be born as a dog. You can purify that, and then once you have purified, then it will never ripen.
pechaja na bena nganzo tanga singa tamo nga singa tamgereda ne sabereda tante tawsa saja nge chasan zum de shaja da sakkambo cha ko kan je marbas te ko sele se basi mata wachi bares.
So like you have this you're a farmer, you have the seed, you have the field, but if you didn't provide that manure, the waters, the heat and so forth, then you cannot activate that seed. So it's similar to that. So if you don't activate it, then you don't get it. You don't get the result.
Okay.
Is that what you mean, or?
Okay. Yeah. That's good. Think about that more. Okay. It's very important. Yeah.
If there's a priority in terms of the practice for achieving cessation, would it be eradicating ignorance, or would it be purifying karma? If there's like one priority of those two.
Of which two?
Of those two, eradicating ignorance or purifying karma.
Oh, I see. That must so dinner so china kan gasares. Mariba pana garagi the le sasa of the shana gares.
Mariba pat negotiations.
Yeah, priority would be to get rid of the ignorance if you can.
Mariba the dance of tsawaret, tsawa and kowaja tsawa the mariba.
So ignorance is the root of all the karma, the samsara and karma, everything. So if you can get rid of that, then all the karma will be gone.
The tsawa me wasna yaga cheg marwas.
So just like if you don't have the root, there will be no branches growing from there.
Okay? Yes.
If I can follow up on that question, I think if I understood the question, it was I don't necessarily need it, but I keep eating this cake.
Yeah.
How can I break that cycle with the craving to continue on that cycle?
다들 아주 소화된 거라. 소화서는 다 혼자 지금 도바서 소화. 뭐 제약이 소화면 제약이 소화도. 네 답변은 아주 답변은 아 케이크 산도기 도바야나. 케이크 산도. 다 케이크 근데 키다 사서 되거 도바에서 그 사서 되거 그래서 데디 사 가서 디 사이게 도바죠. 뭐죠? 무튼 요한테 디 간데 찍어 버렸어. 다들 아주 다들 아주 실렌스 버스um 기타. 서 답주려 말았어. 또 맞아 관련된 간데 찍어 버렸어.
다 지난번에 깨 가오이나 멤버처럼 깨 야보이 말은 주체가 그러었어.
So just maybe you should heed listen to the doctor's advice. If the doctor says it's not good for you, then maybe you might be able to stop it.
Right? Pete check ro cheta te perda.
Example, right? If the doctor says it's not good for your health, will you cut it?
You know, I think that we all know a lot that there are things that are bad for us. So
Yeah.
we keep doing them.
Exactly.
And that's the cycle.
No. But this is if we know the doctor doesn't say for us, then we don't stop. Doctor say it is very good, bad for your cluster something or heart, then we stop. We know bad. We say, oh, that's very bad. We are not good for your health. But no one told us very serious. Doctor said, oh, you have this problem, that problem. Now you have to stop to eat the, white flour, white rice, and then I hope not. Then the cake. Then we stop, right? You like, but you say, okay, no, I cannot eat because my doctor told me. Are you stop?
Sometimes, but so one day I
맞다.
stopped
먼저
eating.
먼저 멤버들 라고 요데 가서 하고 되나 하거나 someone zet우어 말았어.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. If they're not serious, we don't do. Because
It doesn't mean that just because you know it or doctor told you, you'll be able to stop, right? Doesn't mean that. You might still go on and eating, yeah.
like usually we say ignorance is bad, attachment is bad, anger is bad. We say we know, but we never stop. Right? Possible.
Just like that.
Just like that. Same is food also. That food not good, that food not. But the one series, the one doctor say, okay, this is a series for you. Then we stop. I'm sure most they stop. Like that, you have very feeling to eat, but someone told you the negative way, then you stop. Therefore, anything is, if you feel the negative,
So if you see the bad side of it, then your attachment towards it will be it will be gone, right? So it will not be there.
okay, now we stop. It's 10 over, yeah. Okay.
And it's a burning question.
Okay. Okay, you can put. Okay.
Consciousness, I'll do it really fast. Consciousness, that to me, that could be where, somewhere in the 12 links, where some kind of choice is practiced, correct? So, well,
Consciousness?
when we become conscious, then we become aware of things and like choices. But also, doesn't consciousness sort of permeate the whole thing? Otherwise, we would just be kind of reactive, wouldn't we, all the time?
We are not.
So
I
here
mean,
the
yeah,
consciousness
it's
in the
right, as
yeah.
a third, but is it the third or the fourth? Yeah, it's a third. But really, you're conscious through most of it, or if not all of it, right?
Yeah, the consciousness is there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so the consciousness is there all the time, but it's just that when we talk about the result or the consciousness at the time of cause and at the time of the result, is when we create the karma and the imprint of the karma is left on the consciousness. So that is at the time of the cause, and then the seed of that karma when that's ripened into result, and then you still have the consciousness at that time, and that's called the consciousness at the time of result.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ngawla, tsushota. Maybe tsushota. But tsushota. Do you see that we have the AC? We have the AC. His name is Nawa. He's the one organized.
Donated by all Tibetans. So we always say that the Kurukulla Center is very grateful for us. Whenever we have like some people die or like when great lamas come, we always use this. Always Geshe-la says, "Oh, you welcome." So it's so grateful for us. So not only saying grateful just for word. So we should do something. So we decided, okay, we will do this because the window AC is too loud. And when Geshe-la says something we cannot hear, so that is why it's little noiseless. So that's why he just did it.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you. You guys are
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. You guys, no, don't thank me, please.
No thank.
No, thank you.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay, that's time, yeah. Yeah, we can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, turn to page 39 of the prayer book, please. Saji Peki Jushimeta Tramri Rabling Ji Ni Degempadi Sange Jingdu Meteua Kidrokonam Dag Jingla Cho Parsho Jesu Lame Kuche Rapten Ching Nam Katrin Le Cha Tu Ge Padang Lob Zan Tempe Drome Sapsum Gidro Munzel Tatu Negurshi Idam Guru Ranamandala Kamnir Yatayami. Page 43, the short long life prayer for His Holiness. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenre Zig remain in life till samsara's end. And page 57, prayers of dedication. Through this virtue, may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious Supreme Bodhi Mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. And we will end on page 75, Miksema. Migmete we ter chen chen rezik. Tri me kempe wang po jam pel yang gang chen kepe suge Tsongkhapa lop sandra pe zabla so dev. Thank you, Geshe-la. Oh, okay. All right, thank you, Geshe-la. All right. Yamsho.